glitching through the floor!
What the? You're back.
Fortnite has changed a lot. Well, for me at least. The last time I played the game was when the Moon Knight skin was new, so... holy shit. Ignoring the navigation issues in the menu, here are community-made maps and it shows. So with the Fortnite community allowed to create their own maps, some took it upon themselves to create horror games inside of Fortnite. And that's what we'll be focusing on today, to see if Fortnite horror maps are great or if they're sloppy.
Subscribe or die.
Let's start with map 1. The first map is Escape Mannequin. A pretty lousy title, but there's some quality to it. Alright, Slithy is here again to join me. Okay, so the map begins with an elevator ride down to the apartment we own. Not a lot goes on here, especially with the slow walk speed we have, but it all changes when the doorbell buzzes and we get a package.
What the? Oh.
Someone must be here. Hello. Package. The package has a tape inside, and once it plays, everything goes south rapidly.
Is it normal for earthquakes in this area?
Well, we're in Detroit. Well, the cat's fucking dead.
What the? Who is this nigga?
How did we get in this situation? Immediately, our environment has completely changed, and we're caged, but we can quickly get out. We're free!
We're free. Yeah, I don't really like this one, I'm not gonna lie.
Everywhere we go, there are mannequins waiting for us. Sometimes we'll even move.
He's moving, bro.
This game does have jump scares, though. As for how effective they are, well... most of the horror factor comes from anticipation, specifically if the mannequins you squeeze past will in some way try to get to you, but once you know they never will, it doesn't become very scary.
Oh my goodness gracious.
The game does manage to have some quality to it, especially for this hiding scene.
I guess I hid. I don't...
What
the
fuck?
This is like From the Darkness. I don't know if you played that game.
Never, but quickly undoes the praise I gave it in seconds.
Oh goodness.
See, that was so out of nowhere, I didn't even have time to be scared for it. TVs around the map will give us hints for a code, revealing it's for an elevator at the second one. But it's only when we receive the final piece of the code where the game finally puts us on edge.
Mannequin baddie?
Oh.
8 minus 5. Oh, what the hell?
3. Whoa, did this one just spawn? We gotta like walk out of here.
What are we supposed to do here?
Run! We gotta make it to the elevator. We know the code.
That was the elevator right there, was it not?
We need the one that has a code on it that we can actually enter. I'll put it in. 1, 2, 6,
I'm running in.
3. Go, 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 go.
Ah, hell no. There's a package.
Let's get out of here. Oh, that definitely you're glitching through the floor!
What the? You're glitching through the floor.
I'm losing you!
Alright, hell no.
Though this is where things get confusing. Entering the elevator, Slithy picked up a package, and that elevator takes us back right to the beginning to place that package on our apartment door, where we swap to the perspective inside, picking it up for the first time again, ending the game. That makes zero fucking sense! So the story for this game doesn't make much sense. The map has some quality to it, but with that weird ending, I can't say it ended on a high note. If I were to rate it, it'd be a 6 out of 10. Maybe the next map will be better. Only one way to find out. Map number 2. Darkness. This map was going to be a slightly different experience because we left Phil on and had 2 randoms join us on our little trip. Though we could tell this map was also pretty similar to the last one. So this is just a sequel.
The door.
Oh my god, it's a door.
What lies beyond it? It's...
Oh no, not another mannequin. Amnesia, third video! Slithy, as soon as the plot was mentioned, knew that this game may have copied another one.
How is that? Bro, this is From the Darkness.
Having played the original, Slithy more or less predicted every little thing the game copied one for one.
And there's a note on it too, bro. This is the same game, bro.
Very scary. Thanks,
that?
Fortnite. What's that noise?
No.
This is Amnesia, the third video. Oh my god. This is my Amnesia video.
Damn.
Sabrina Carpenter, are you okay?
Sabrina!
I'm honestly lacking the proper words for the map because despite copying a pretty popular game, I don't really have a lot to say about what's going on, but scary stuff happens and we lost Sabrina Carpenter. There's some small puzzles, and I really do mean small, that require you to follow very basic instructions to get something like a key. This guy's not even a mask. He's not even a fucking mannequin, he's just some black guy.
Brother, this is a Dominican right here, but what are you talking about?
Mannequin. But we get a lighter because we need to light candles, though with the lamp I'm sure we could have improvised. The jump scares in this game are exactly like the one before it. Not very scary, sudden, and loud.
Oh, damn.
The Dominican's blocking us. The game does give a choice for the ending. One leads to the good ending and one leads to the bad ending. Deciding if we pick a cross or a key, and since I was in charge, I chose the cross. Call me biased if you will. Escaping, we finally reach our poetic ending.
What is this?
I managed to
escape with my life.
That's it? Yeah, this game was certainly not the best. There's a ton of issues I have with it, and while writing this, I was comparing it to the actual game, which is actually scary, and there's plenty of stuff that wasn't added from the original to the one we played, though it felt like it was done not out of choice, but from limitations of not being able to copy certain aspects as it did 1-1, with plenty of other things it could copy. So despite feeling like a bad mix between Darkness and Escape the Mannequin, it felt pretty crappy, and for the rating this time around, it's gonna be a 4 out of 10. Good intentions, but lacking in a lot of areas. So what's map number 3 gonna be? Ah, look, we got it! I promise there's a valid reason for this being here. There's an absurd number of brain rot maps in Fortnite like this. There's plenty of real horror maps in the game, but for the most part, there's a lot like this one where it's just goofy and not to be taken very seriously, because who the fuck is gonna take this seriously?
Might as well just jerk you.
Look, the first time I opened this map, I really thought this was going to be the best. Hell, I was so positive it was going to be the last map for the video. But oh my god. We're playing through the perspective of a little boy in this map. It's late, but we forgot our Nintendo Switch at the park. Yes, I'm serious. And we go to the store owned by the low-quality rendered granny for a drink before she warns us that the construction building nearby is dangerous and to avoid it. So naturally, as a shithead little kid, we go there because we were told not to go there. And it's all fine until we find a strange painting inside of it, which eventually leads us to find a room full of these strange paintings. Now on all 3 floors of this building, there's a half-visible ghost thing that roams the hall and doesn't do anything, unable to interact with. Soon enough, we find the person who's making the paintings, and it's a little girl who's creepy as shit. If there's anything I can mention about the game so far, it's that it is slow. So slow. We leave the building and the day ends, but we decide to return again because why the fuck not? Again, she walks so fucking slow. She's supposed to lead us through this abandoned house, but I'd rather chew glass and walk behind her the entire time. But once we make it inside, she vanishes, and looking around, we find a cassette tape, but the radio or whatever the hell doesn't have any dry cell batteries. So we look for those inside this unrendered low quality house that's dark as shit.
I'm over here stroking my dick, I got lotion.
The tape is of an author lamenting selling his greatest painting to a teacher, unable to stop thinking of it. Then the next day starts, but we follow the slowest girl in the world to the school. We're searching in the teacher's room. We find a notebook detailing the teacher's regret for owning the painting, and how the dying author looked just like it. And in the next room, the teacher decides to hide the painting, locking it away after one of their students went visibly crazy and hid the password. Now we get to the best part. After the ghost creature from the construction site gets us, the game thinks shoving Granny's poorly textured face in front of us is gonna be scary, and how she magically is aware of a ton of information she shouldn't even know about. Slithy's reaction really shows off how he felt about it.
Damn, look at that neck, bro.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! The first painting seems to have been hidden by a teacher in a certain place.
Oh, brother.
Its password is written in special ink all over the school.
No.
The password can be found and be viewed on the overall map. We had to return another time. Then, 3 days later, It's just as bad as you think it is. Each and every single room, every floor walking slowly. And here's the funny thing, little special detail. The code doesn't just exist. It has to wait a minute before you can see it. So you can be in the exact room and spot to see it. But if you're too quick to walk right around the room, sucks to fucking suck, right? It pissed me off wholeheartedly. We used a guide to find the last 2 pieces of the password and a guide for the rest of the map essentially. I didn't even get to mention that the spirit wanders the hall and classrooms because it's just a minute obstacle. Nothing special other than that. Anyways, after gathering the password, Granny clocks out with the kid and says she can sense a strong grudge from the schoolyard, which makes about as much sense as you think it fucking does, and we split up to search for it. Old Japanese people know everything about spirits. Inside a shed was the safe containing the password to the painting, so we try to burn it nearby, but gasp, it doesn't burn. Whoa. Another cassette tape appears because of course it had to, and since the radio is all the way back to the original house, you know what that means. We get to enjoy a nice long walk across the entire map to play the single tape. All for it to mention that the artist was obsessed with a specific purple flower.
I'm over here.
So using a guide again because a map maker is a fucking we find 3 separated purple flowers in Timbuktu, and Granny tells us the curse can only break by burning the original object with it, which totally makes sense. So pop the painting back in the furnace with flowers and it works just fine with a really long and dragged out cutscene of the spirit screaming. Ends the story. Well, the girl is at the painter's grave with white flowers, blah blah blah, but then we end it for real. And I'll just mention it while we're still on this game, but if we picked up the white flower instead and tried to burn the painting, then we'd get the bad ending and die, but I'm not going to sit through 20 minutes to get that because fuck that. All in all, don't play this map. I really don't like to be this judgmental, but I thought this map was going to be great, but it just wasn't. Let's move on to the last one. No!
What the?
This one is simple, but it's actually great. Let's dive into why. In the spawn room, we set the stage that we're a night shift security guard who's all alone to keep track of his train station. But once enough time passes, it'll be hard to tell what is and what isn't reality. Right away, the game has a great look to it. Atmosphere is something that some of these games have yet to properly utilize so far. You can place us in a scary environment, but if we're just there and not immersed with what's going on, how can we feel afraid? In the security room, there's cameras to use and we're actually able to check every single one of them, so they're not just for show. Checking them shows us a power outage issue inside the tunnel and is what sets us forward to enter the underground area. It's difficult to even tell some of these games are Fortnite. The only reminder is clearly walking in front of you for the most part. We're not alone here, and the game reminds us of that fact pretty quickly.
Hold on, do I got ore?
Oh,
What? What is it?
you know what? Lead charge. The narrow, realistic, and dirty tunnels makes good use of itself, and with several turns, each corner doesn't feel safe. There are signs made by presumably the hobo we initially saw, and they help set the tone that when dealing with someone like a homeless man, they have nothing left to lose.
Don't care, get a job.
Hey, bum. Returning back to the security room, we get a good look of the man himself, and he's really fucking tall. What the fuck is this guy doing at the station at this hour? Scary looking as he is, it's our job to kick out any hobos trying to sleep in the station, so we have to search for him. I'm no expert in what New York train stations are like, but this feels a little far-fetched. Inside, there's plenty of strange noises we have to investigate.
What? Is that in the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, someone made food in my house or something. Right here.
It is a microwave. What the fuck is that?
A teddy bear.
Whoa!
What the?
In one of the rooms managing the trains, the hobo is messing things up, further adding on to the need to find him. He's messing up all the systems.
Hold on.
No!
What the?
Did you see that? Descending as far as possible, we're not alone in here for sure. You're first. Whoa! That's a fucking guy. A homeless man was hiding out here, and we questioned if he saw the other tall one, but he can't really help us, so we can only go down further. Oh, hey, fella. You're treading on some thin water there.
Bro, he kind of look cool though.
Yeah, I used that sound effect in my Left 4 Dead video. Now, again, I really don't know much about New York stations, so an elevator down here doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm just a California boy, I would not know. Returning to the security room, the phone line is dead, and it's clear this hobo wants to make our night hell. Can I eat you? This guy wants to turn my night into a total nightmare. Descending further than ever before, it becomes darker and darker, and the idea of him appearing out of nowhere is only making things scarier. Oh god!
What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What did you see?
It was him! He was eating something! What the fuck was that noise? Did you not hear those, like, footsteps? No, I mean, like, those were in-game footsteps. Oh, what? Here's where things take a turn. The homeless man got us, but we're outside and our character even mentions that this neighborhood is familiar. We enter a building and after using the elevator, we find a room with an eviction notice on it for a man named Joe Smith. Seemingly unimportant, but our name is Albert Smith. And inside this room, our character points out that this place looks exactly like the apartment he lived in as a kid. It's also very apparent that the halls and rooms we've entered here warped and created brand new locations once it's out of our sight.
Which way?
Yeah, shit's warping. Like, this whole hallway. This didn't exist until we entered the room. In this dark red room, there's a doll of a child and a note on it about a missing toy car that our character feels it's important to find for it. Don't worry, I'll get you your toy. What the fuck? In the living room, a note appears. Aren't you amazed at how much we look alike?
What? Oh, I found it.
Oh, there it is. Upon returning the toy car to the doll, something I can't explain happens. Well, now what? Oh, great, the door closed. Oh no! He turned into a homeless man! He turned into a homeless man!
Oh hell no!
He's getting bigger. We're in an empty room full of writing. One side of the room is in black text of innocence, the other is red text of guilt. Exiting the door, the map ends.
Is it dark for you? What?
What? That's it! You gotta give us at least some kind of conclusion. There's a lot to think about for this map. How much of it is real? Who was the tall homeless guy? And what did the ending even mean? I really did try to search up to see if anyone made any kind of answer, but have found nothing, and honestly couldn't even come up with a plausible theory myself other than just putting some pieces together that were real. For starters, we can make the assumption that the homeless man never existed, because no one but us can see him, and his movement is impossible. Secondly, there's a relationship between him and us, and trying to put the pieces together, the homeless man could have been our father given that we reached our childhood apartment. We see an eviction notice to a man sharing our last name, and a note given to us about how similar we look, but it doesn't explain the ending itself or why we see him. If I were to guess, there's some kind of deep-rooted trauma involving our father that created these hallucinations. Something that involves the final room where we sit alone feeling immense guilt for something we did. But in the end, there's just not enough information to give us a clear ending. It's ambiguous and it'll stay that way, and that's homeless. So, 5 maps later, I'm fairly certain we got the genuine Fortnite horror experience. The maps gave a general idea to how a lot of these play out, and dear lord, I pray to God, most of these don't follow the route of summer break. A lot of these maps have genuine quality behind them, even if they are just a copy, but unfortunately, not many of these really manage to understand how to scare you. Homeless is undisputedly the best map today, and knew how to handle everything you went for, but I just wish it had a more conclusive ending. There's a massive amount of not so scary games as we saw earlier, and the rest that do try don't seem to properly give us that right scare. So in the end, Fortnite, as above and beyond as some of these go, is not the best source for horror games. But next week, let's see if something else is good at scaring people. And that's all I've got to say. See ya. Oh god, it was a copy of another game!